After the earthquake, Hua Yong was hospitalized. He should have been unconscious, clinging to life. But instead, Hua Yong did something no one expected. He pulled the steel bar out himself, with his bare hands. The doctors were stunned. "Where is the steel bar?" one asked, scanning the bloody wound. Hua Yong's reply was chilling in its simplicity. "I pulled it out." Every doctor in the room froze. Removing a penetrating object like that is almost always fatal. The bar had missed his arteries and nerves by just a fraction of a centimeter. If his hand had slipped, if his luck had failed for even a second, Hua Yong would have bled out instantly. And yet, here he was, standing, pale and blood-soaked, asking how long surgery would take, because all he cared about was seeing Sheng Xiaoyu again. Sheng Xiaoyu, the alpha he loved with a frightening intensity, had also been injured in the earthquake. Compared to Hua Yong, his wounds were far lighter, only a fracture and some bruising. But for Hua Yong, the pain didn't matter. What mattered was that they were in the same hospital. In fact, he even told his companions, "I really hope I can ride in the same ambulance with Mr. Sheng." His loyalty bordered on madness. Shen Wenling, a friend, couldn't hold back his frustration anymore. "You need a psychiatrist," he told him bluntly. "You're too dependent on Sheng Xiaoyu. You're like a lunatic." But Hua Yong only smiled, almost relieved, and whispered, "Really? I always worry that I don't love him enough." This was not the confession of a sane man. This was obsession, dressed as devotion. By evening, Hua Yong was taken into surgery. The wound was severe, 24 centimeters long, running from the acromion to his armpit. The steel bar had nearly destroyed him, and the improper removal had only made things worse. The doctors were ready. They had prepared anesthesia, surgical tools, and a plan to stabilize him. But Hua Yong refused. "No anesthesia," he said firmly. The surgeons stared at him in disbelief. A surgery of this scale, without anesthesia, was unimaginable. The pain alone could cause cardiac arrest. But Hua Yong was unwavering. His only request? To finish quickly, so he could go see Sheng Xiaoyu. Under the harsh light of the operating room, Hua Yong lay still. His white shirt was cut open, soaked red with blood. His collarbones jutted out, his skin pale and thin, veins pulsing under the surface. Every cut of the scalpel tore through flesh. Every movement of the bone knife scraped against his body like fire, but he didn't scream. He didn't even flinch. The surgeon's hands trembled. "This isn't human," one whispered. But Hua Yong wasn't focused on the surgery. With his free hand, he held a phone. On the screen, Shen Wenling had started a video call, showing him Sheng Xiaoyu's arm being put in a plaster cast. The doctor tied a bow on his bandage. Shen said sarcastically, "Don't you want to see?" "No," Hua Yong whispered. But then, almost childishly, he gave in. "Okay, let me see." "But Mr. Sheng isn't unhappy, right?" "Happy," Shen mocked. "So happy he almost threw me out." Even in surgery, even drenched in blood, Hua Yong's only concern was Sheng Xiaoyu's mood. The surgeon, unable to concentrate, snapped, "Hang up the phone, or I'll increase your anesthesia." Reluctantly, Hua Yong ended the call. Before disconnecting, he told Shen Wenling in a voice trembling with pain, "Please, keep an eye on Mr. Sheng for me. Don't let him push himself." Shen Wenling was horrified. "You're on the operating table and still awake? That's insane." But Hua Yong only replied calmly, "I didn't use anesthesia." To Shen, it felt like blasphemy against life itself. To Hua Yong, it was just love. The scalpel sliced deeper. The surgeon drilled into the bone, created tunnels, and prepared to repair the torn rotator cuff. Each motion was torment. The pain spread through Hua Yong's body, flooding his nerves, crashing into his bones. Sweat streamed down his face, his lips trembling with suppressed cries. The nurse couldn't bear it. "Do you want anesthesia now?" she asked softly. Hua Yong shook his head, whispering, "How much longer?" "More than an hour," the doctor admitted. Hua Yong closed his eyes. No need. And so, the surgery continued. The monitors began to beep urgently. Blood oxygen is too low. Blood pressure rising. Give him oxygen. Heart rate abnormal, suturing, now, quickly. The doctors knew the truth. No matter how strong, no matter how determined, the human body has limits. Pain this severe could push him into shock, even kill him. But Hua Yong remained still. His breathing grew heavier, his face almost transparent from blood loss. But he did not thrash, he did not scream. He lay there, pale and composed, as though his mind had already left his body. What kept him alive, what kept him sane, was a single image in his heart. Shang Xiaoyu's kiss. In his mind, he imagined the alpha bending down, gently brushing his lips against his forehead. He imagined holding him close, keeping him forever, making him his own. That fantasy became the anchor against the storm of agony. But with the fantasy came darker thoughts. As blood pooled at his collarbone and pain tore through his body, Hua Yong thought, the beloved alpha is always surrounded by others. What if I locked him up? What if I made him mine alone? What if he became my omega and gave me children that only belonged to me? The violent idea slid through his mind like ice. But then he remembered Shang Xiaoyu's cold, disgusted expression. That single memory pierced his heart harder than any steel bar. No, he couldn't force him. To win Shang Xiaoyu's love, he couldn't use chains. He needed to be patient, gentle. He needed to wrap that iron-willed alpha in soft ropes of devotion until one day he surrendered willingly. But through it all, Hua Yong never broke. The surgeon looked down at the pale, blood-stained man and thought, this isn't strength. This is something beyond human will. This is obsession disguised as love. And in the silence of his mind, Hua Yong echoed a truth of his own. It's hard to fall in love. Conquering the world is easier. To fight and win is simple. But to tame an alpha's heart, that is the hardest battle of all. By the end of the surgery, the doctors were exhausted. But Hua Yong, he was still alive, barely but alive. His lips were colorless, his body trembling, yet his eyes shone with a strange light. He had endured 3 hours of surgery without anesthesia. Not for himself, not for survival, but for love, love that was both devotion and madness. And as he drifted into unconsciousness, one thought lingered above the storm of pain. Mr. Shang, please don't leave me. If this story left you shocked, heartbroken, or fascinated by the extremes of love and obsession, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Hua Yong's love is true devotion, or has it crossed into dangerous obsession?